What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy the D20 here, coming at you with this week's chapter reviews. I've already read the chapters, like I said once before. I normally do. Had to read them at work this time because they came out on a Friday, thank God. So I didn't have to wait too long for them. But this week's chapters were pretty good. Today marks the return of Oda, which is good. Glad that he's back. Glad that he's, at least as far as I know, in good shape. And go ahead and let you know that there will be no break for One Piece next week. Although, from what I read, there will be a break for My Hero Academia. They're going on a 2-week break, but that's cool. I don't think Horikoshi takes breaks all that often. I know he took a break a couple of weeks ago, but even then, before that, I couldn't tell you when his last break was. So, hey, do what it do, and he's been killing it lately. So, I mean, hey, man does take a little R&R, but yes, I'm very glad that Oda's back and got a good batch of chapters. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Shonen Showdown. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to switch it up this week, and we're going to be doing My Hero Academia, number 288, Save Takeo. The chapter opens up on a cargo plane with the pilot and the mysterious passenger bickering back and forth. Pilot saying, passenger saying, "Are we not there yet?" And telling the pilot to ensure that they arrive in the next 5 minutes. The pilot retorting saying they're not hawks and that they're flying at a dangerous speed and the passenger needs to sit down. Now, the pilot does say something interesting, saying that the person who is riding with him, or her, the person who's riding with them is not in full health. To which the passenger retorts that countless lives being lost and that their own health isn't important, to which the pilot says they're only trying to show concern. We then see a 75% spread of a bunch of heroes going through the city, going towards Giganto Machina. And then we see Giganto Machina tearing through the city with mole claws, and them realizing that not only is he destroying what's in his path, he's also throwing the debris out of his path. So if he's going in a straight line, it's not just a straight line. He's throwing shit to the left, to the right, all around. So not just the things that are directly in his path are being destroyed, but also anything that's around him. So they're saying they need to evacuate within a 5-kilometer radius of his route. Them saying that if they keep going that route, they're going to encounter the monster not in a few minutes. They then go on to say that this is their failing, that the people just happen to be in the way and they have to save lives even if it costs them their own, and they can't let them suffer for their own mistakes. And we then cut back to the League, who are on top of Machina, to which one of the guys who was with the Liberation Army, the guy with the long black, long black hair that's kind of like sheets or some shit. They look like blinds on his head. But he's talking about, he's got a satellite image of the heroes coming towards him. Well, excuse me. And he says that it's not the army that first attacked them at the villa, but still a good chunk. To which, not twice, he's dead, but to which Compact is looking through them specifically, and sees both Tsuyu and Ochako with the heroes heading towards Machina, to which Toga immediately, takes notice, starts to freak out, and gets on Compact about getting her equipment because she wants to go down there and see them. Because remember, at the end of the last chapter, she said, depending on what Ochako and Deku and them answer, it will influence what she wants to do. She then starts to get off Machina, saying that it's all that, to which Compact says that Machina's pretty tall. It is a sizable height. I can talk, I promise you that. But she wants to go ahead and go. And she's saying that, what she's been thinking about with Twice and everything, it's really messing with her moods, making her gloomy, and she has to go ask them at this very moment. To which Compact tries to get Dabi in, like, hey, Dabi, fucking say something. Dabi's like, hey, man, do what you want to do. Spinner then stops her and saying that she's not the only one messed up about twice. Saying that the league was the only place Twice felt comfortable, and that the boss, being Shigaraki, probably wants them to stay together. And he then goes on to tell her, hey, we're villains, we do as we please, but you better come back. To which Toga simply smiles and goes on about her way. We then go over to Ochako, who's in the city, yet again watching Giganto Machina from afar. I believe she's watching from in front of him, and he's coming her way. Telling everybody to run perpendicular with his path and to stay out of the way. We then see a bit of debris come towards Ochako, to which one of the heroes uses a quirk. It looks like it might be some type of sticky substance or water, something to that effect, to redirect the debris and block it. And then we see that an old lady is trying to flag down Ochako and Tsuyu, saying that her husband's bedridden and he can't help her, and she can't help him. To which they then go ahead and help her. Ochako goes along telling Froppy to go ahead and save the people she's got in her arms, who she was saving when the debris came at her. And Ochako tries to go after the lady, but she is running really fast, which the lady is hysterical, talking about her poor Takeo. And then as the lady turns a corner, she notices that the lady turns into Ochako. It was Ochako in disguise. Ochako then realizes who it is and follows her inside, trying to stop her. But Ochako is talking to her from afar, saying that she was hoping to chat with Ochako and Tsuyu because she views them as precious friends. And Ozuku, who she's in love with because he's so cool. And she says that she wants to be just like her, which in her own twisted way means that she wants to actually be her. Because we know that, not Ochako, but Toga, her quirk having to deal with blood and ingesting blood and turning into her target means that, whatever type of psychosis that she has, she believes that she should become those she has formed an attachment with. So she then goes on to ask her, after attacking into the stabber, what do you want to do with me? To which Ochako says that she stole the old lady's blood, killed her, just to ask me a question. And Ochako she's kind of frozen by the entire thing. Not Ochako, but Toga, she's frozen by the entire thing because yet again, she's psychotic. She doesn't understand that the shit that she does is bad for people. But yeah, it's she's with Ochako saying that it just messed her up. And we then flash back to Ochako back when she was helping Night Eye out with the 8 precepts. I don't call them the Hiei Saikai. The 8 precepts of death. When she was getting him out, and she then tells Toga very sternly, she's trying to save everybody that she can. Understand, and she wants her to understand that if she gets in her way, she will take her down and stop her. And that's where the chapter ends. Not gonna lie, other than the first page, pretty lackluster chapter. Yet again, art's still pretty good. It's just, we're focusing on everybody else. But after everything that we've been getting for the last few weeks, it's just very, very lukewarm. There's no other way I can put it. But as far as speculation goes, now, of course, it's going to be just who's on the plane, not what Toga's going to do. Toga's going to do some crazy shit. So, no, I don't think this is going to be her heel turn where she's, I was a villain, but now I'm going to be a good guy, which could happen, but I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing her being able to take responsibility for everything she's done, for her mental state, so I'm just not thinking that's going to happen. But as far as who's on that plane, funny enough, some people are going to say, oh man, it's All Might, oh man, it's All Might, All Might's coming back, which possible, but I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing, with his powers burnt out, some people are saying, he might have one remnant of power where he can actually stop this, which could be true, but funny enough, I think it might be Genist. Hear me out. I know we saw him in that bag, which we thought we saw him in that bag. But that may have been a cadaver or some other doll or thing that Hawks was trying to use in order to trick the League. So that could be that. But I don't know. I don't think Hawks would go that far. I think he'd be the type of guy who would actually go above and beyond to try not to cross that line with it. Because I'm trying to think of any other like retired heroes, hurt heroes who we could see. Unless it's Mirio. Unless he got his shit together, which potentially, but I think they're saving like anything that Eri could do for later on in the story. So I'm not thinking it's him, because like the only retired hero that I could really see, like, who's like, oh, we're not retired, but hurt, who's out of commission, that I can think of off the top of my head would be old girl from the Pussycat Dolls, but she had her quirk stolen, so she's out of the picture off rip. But I'm thinking it's Genis, that Genis might, come and put some shit on, because like, it can't be anybody else. Endeavor just got hurt, so he's not going to be in for a while. Miracle got hurt, she's not in for a while. Crust is dead. Fat Gum and Sun Eater, which I'm still hoping Sun Eater isn't dead, but they're out. So I'm thinking that it could be best Genis, or maybe even somebody else that we haven't seen. Yeah. But yeah, lukewarm chapter, but still not bad. All right, on to the next one. One Piece. Now, for the second chapter of this week, we're gonna go to Eiichiro Oda's One Piece. Chapter 992, Remnants. So 8 out from 1,000. I guess this week I'll go ahead and talk about the One Piece cover page, because yet again, I guess it's like a celebration for Oda to come back. Yet again, that whole sudden break last time was very scary, but looks like our boy is okay. And we pick up now, the Straw Hats have commandeered a sea train and are having a lovely lunch. We see Luffy enjoying a bento box with what looks like either meat and rice or octopus and rice. Chopper's looking out through a telescope. Nami and Robin are enjoying drinks and fruit. Brook is playing his violin. Jinbei's sitting on top of the sea train. Frankie's chilling. I think Usopp's eating mochi. Sanji's passing out drinks. And Zoro's eating some ramen. Now, I don't know if this was already explored and explained, but we get to look at Zoro's sword and what looks like it is the Enma, which is purple. Pretty cool. But anyway, let's get into the chapter itself. Alright, we open up with a shot of the skull, but someone, being Big Mom in this case, is speaking with Perospero, telling him that the alliance with Kaido was his idea. But Perospero says that he knows that, hey, he sure it was, but, everybody's been, on their crew has been waiting for the day that she became Pirate King. I guess they're just not going to gender that, which, hey, cool, whatever. Want to be Pirate King, it's 2020, all that. But yes. And then, to which Big Mom retorts that she knows, and she asks, don't you trust me? And to which Perospero just looks on in surprise, like, oh, well, that's a relief. Just acquiescing. And then we have Marco, who is aflame, partially, fixing his glasses, saying that, okay, despite his and Perospero's agreement to work together, it seems that their mutual goal of defeating Kaido is no more. See, as he speaks to Perospero. And then Big Mom chimes in, telling him, I thought you were better than that, helping out these whippersnappers, being Luffy and his crew and the entire alliance. She says that it's sad that Whitebeard's remnants have lost their way. And then to which Marco retorts, you ask her if she's sure that she's not mistaking the meaning of the word remnants. To which she's surprised. Marco has been on Whitebeard's crew for like 28 years, since he was a child. So she's going off, hey, they're gonna do what Whitebeard would have wanted no matter what. And to which Marco's like, do you think that Pop's Whitebeard, his will is still binding them? He says everyone who's left is free to do what they will. And then to which Big Mom grins and looks at him because she looks happy. It's not like one of those sadistic like, oh, you're being cheeky grins. She looks legit happy, saying that dead men give. She's like, that's right. Dead men can't command a crew. Do as you will. And that's the last we see of that. But we then see Carrot and Wanda running through Onigashima, with Wanda trailing behind Carrot asking where is she going, to which Carrot retorts and answers to avenge Pedro. I know who I saw. She saw Peril Sparrow. So I don't know if they were trying to be slick or not, but Carrot is on that ass, boy. And then we see Luffy running past the battlefield as a samurai tells him to go onward, and Luffy thanking him for clearing the way for him. We then cut to the banquet hall, to which somebody's saying that the whole island is in a roar, and there's not one. To which there's somebody saying that there's no one in the tatami room with them, and asking Black Maria to play a song. I think this is one of her underlings, who are the geisha prostitutes. And then she starts singing a song, and as she's singing, we cut back to Shinobu holding Momo running away from from Yamato. Who, I'm just saying, can we really get like somebody telling him that he's being fucking weird? Like, he is really being fucking creepy. You're telling this 8-year-old kid, hey, I know you know who your dad is. I'm your dad. Like, is nobody gonna tell this motherfucker that shit is fucking weird? Like, I hope, like, before this is over, somebody just sits him down like, bro, you gotta stop with that Odin shit. That's weird. Like, not only is it weird, but it's kind of disrespectful. Like, hey, look, if you want to be like him, then be like him. You can't be him. It's really fucking weird, man. It's really fucking weird. Alright. And yet again, we see a full body shot of Black Maria, yet again still singing to the geishas, and she is big as fuck. I know we got her height, like she's obviously the biggest of the Togiropo, and I think she's even bigger than Kaido himself. But yeah, she keeps singing, but then on the next page, we get back to the battle with all 9 scabbards going against Kaido. Kaido roars, shattering the ground beneath them, but they jump and scatter and then begin to attack him. To which Raizo says that his roar turns into lightning. Going back to them back to him shattering the ground with just his roar. Although it did look like it wasn't just an effect. It looks like he actually did shoot lightning out of his mouth, which I'll get to that. And we see that they're attacking with swords and their claws of the minks, and Izo is still just pulling out the blicky and just firing off shots in the Kaido. And we then see Nekomamushi do what looks like making like a wind lightning tornado and hitting Kaido with a mean uppercut with an attack by the name of the Crimson Cat Dance. And as he's sent upward, we see Kawamatsu coming at him from above with what looked like dual swords, Kappa style, River of Sea, and slashes at Kaido, which it actually does look like it did something. And Kaido actually does cough up blood. We then see a couple of beasts looking on at the fight, saying, huh? Their attacks are actually hurting Kaido. But Kaido then goes to strike back, striking Kawamatsu and sending him flying into a boulder. But then, just as he's doing that, he's distracted with him. We see Inuarashi use an attack, Canine Scourge, where he uses his new sword leg to stab into Kaido. And also we see we see a couple of aerial attacks going at Kaido. Fallen snow scythes, which are circular vacuum waves sent by Okiku, and slicing rounds, which are bullets coming from Izo. And yet again, they're hurting him. And it's really weird because you think that if they had this power all along, they could have really ended this a long time ago. So it's really weird. And then Kaido, who's getting annoyed, saying enough of the nonsense, and then at the same time, thinking of none of these attacks bear a resemblance to Odin's blades, and thinking why can they cut me, as he readies his Boro breath. So he then uses his Boro breath, but at the same time, we see Raizo make the ram sign with his fingers. Ninpo, scrolling jutsu, to which one of his scrolls catches the attack and seemingly absorbs it to Kaido's surprise. He then goes on to state that his scrolls can wrap anything in existence. He then unfurls the scroll, not squirrel, around Kaido, to which Kaido is surprised, like, what the fuck are you doing? And to which Raizo answers, and now I return it to you. Blast breath, restoration. So he sends Kaido's own attack. He absorbs the attack first with the scroll, then wraps the scroll around his entire body and releases it back, and which does a lot of damage as Raizo's running away from the blast. We then cut out to a far out view of the top Onigashima and seeing it in flames. The beasts who are observing, they're looking on, saying, you know, this isn't possible. How can he be taking this much damage? Kaido gets back up. He's been injured, but he's still, like, you can tell it's like a boss fight in an RPG. They're doing damage. Now, don't get it twisted. They're doing numbers, but it's still not enough. He's probably only taken about 10-15% of his health has actually been drained by these attacks. So he's realizing, okay, this isn't going to be as easy as I thought it was, but still, he's on the upper end of this. As he looks on, the scabbards stare back as the dust clears. And we go ahead and we flash back to Odin, talking to them. Come on, I'll teach you. And to which they say, no thank you, we have our own styles of fighting. Odin then sits down with his wife and children, saying, but Odin two-sword style is the greatest there is, why won't they learn it? To which his wife, Toki, says, hee, because they would have fought. A great big fight over who would be your foremost disciple. They love you so much they would have killed each other. We then cut back to Kaido, looking on at them, saying, what do they think they're doing? To which it looks like it's probably all 9 of them, but specifically, staying against Kaido, we see Asha Doji, Kinemon, Denjiro, and Inuarashi all holding 2 swords, using the Odin 2-sword style. Kaido then looks on at them, preparing another Boro breath, saying, you waste your time with this cheap imitation. We then cut back with Odin showing them, okay, first of all, here's the thing about Ryuo. Listen to me, but in the flashback, they're all still walking away from him. And then they all unleash one of Odin's signature attacks, Paradise Totsuka. And that ends the chapter, saying that it will be back on October 25th. Alright, about this chapter. Not a bad chapter in and of itself, although it is, like, ever since this battle has started, with them being able to hurt Kaido, period, it's kind of weird, because Kaido has been built up for so long, like, it creates a power scaling problem. Because it's like, okay, if y'all could have did this shit from the start, like, it kind of creates a paradox, okay, because remember, after Odin got back from traveling with Roger and Whitebeard, they had a fight with Kaido and them. And in that fight, at least from what we were shown, it was looking like only Odin could actually fight Kaido. And like, okay, the other scabbards, the only thing they could do was keep the army at bay. They couldn't really help with anything other than that. Like, it's like, okay, they couldn't really help Odin because they were busy with the army. If they had this much strength, and yet again, I know at least the ones who stayed in Wano and didn't travel through time, they should have been. I know they've gotten stronger, but if they were capable of this back then this never should have got so far. Yet again, I know, hey, in the heat of the moment, they found strength they never knew they had, hockey blooms in battle, all that good type of shit. But it's still kind of odd, because it's like, if y'all had this type of strength from jump, this shit should have been settled 20 years ago. But who knows, there may be some good reasoning, or something. Like I said, it could just be a spur of the moment thing. They weren't really that well versed last time, but thanks to everything they've been through up until this point, they've been able to grow and master their Ryuo to this point to be able to do this. But not a bad chapter. Yeah, we're definitely moving things along, especially with this battle. I didn't think we were gonna get this much of this battle. Reason being, I thought most of the shit was gonna be skipped, and Luffy was gonna come out, and they were gonna be beaten. Pretty much all this was gonna be off screen. But hey, I mean, it's cool shit. We're seeing that their dedication to Odin is really taking them on. Now, what I'm really interested in is Marco, his words. Because I'm not gonna lie, even I thought, like, okay, for the rest of their lives, they're gonna do whatever the fuck they want to do. They're gonna do whatever the fuck they think Whitebeard would have wanted them to do. I mean, they're not bad people. Well, hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself. But from what Marco said, like, hey, Whitebeard's dead, we don't listen to him anymore. Whatever, we do is of our own volition. So, I'm wondering about that. Like, is Marco going to... Is he gonna join the Big Mom Pirates? Or is this his way of saying, hey, look, Pops may have wanted me to help Luffy while he was alive, but I'm helping Luffy because of my own reasons. I don't know. I'm waiting, because this chapter really didn't do anything as far as moving the plot forward, at least obviously, but it really did, we know Carrot knows Perospero's there, so that's setting up her matchup. As far as Luffy, he's not really doing anything. It might lead. I think this is starting to lead to Yamato and Shinobu fighting Black Maria, which should be cool. I'm down with that. But yeah, dope chapter. Pretty dope. It's good to see Oda in good spirits. Not gonna lie, I kind of wish we hadn't had to wait 2 weeks for this, but yet again, Oda had shit going on, so hey, I'm not gonna give the man shit. But I think that's all my thoughts for this week's chapter. Next, Black Clover. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and bringing up the rear this week is gonna be Black Clover. It's gonna be Black Clover, page 268, Devil. We open up with Asta, still going through everything with the devil and remembering Asta's words and the mystery woman's words. Just because somebody's a devil doesn't necessarily mean they're a bad guy. To which he grits his teeth and thinks to himself, devils are born in the underworld. And we finally get our first real look at the underworld in this chapter, which is very interesting. And he goes on to explain the world of the demons, that from the time they're born, they have a set place in the pecking order. So kind of like the Clover Kingdom, there's a caste system, and that's set from the day they're born. There's nothing they can do to change it. And from what he says, it's also born in the underworld. So in order to kill time, the devils on top terrorize the ones beneath them, and the devils who are lower than them beat the ones beneath them. And he then goes on to say that he was born without any magic. So he was at the bottom, and he said that every day since his birth there hasn't been a day he hasn't bled. Now it's interesting the way Tobata, it's interesting the way Tobata characterizes the underworld. A lot of blacks, muted colors. Of course, it's manga, but still, it's no detail. here. And it's cool because it's like, since it's October, the month of Halloween. I don't think the Japanese really even fuck Halloween like that. But anyway, it's very cool to see, like, the demons really don't have features. It's more just, hey, they're featureless, they're monsters. There's really nothing to them. He thinks on to say that in that dunghill world, that messing with humans is the biggest thrill of all, and everybody wants to go to the world of the humans. And he says that one day, a demon who was higher than him got mad and threw him at the gate. And in that moment, he wanted to die. He figured he was gonna die. Hey, he smashed against the wall. But because he had no magic, apparently there was so it looks like there's a barrier around the underworld that demons can't easily get through due to their magic. So it looks like it's a barrier that blocks demonic magic. So because he had no magic to be spoken of, he could pass right through. So then he found himself in a random field in the human world. So he then started to wander, and he noticed himself, unlike other demons, he never had any desire to go to the human world. So he was just walking around because he had no way to get back to the underworld. So even though he didn't care about the humans, they loathed him based off just the fact that he was a demon. And he even said that humans with powerful magic chased him and attacked him, injuring him on the edge of the forest. And he even said that he was ready to die in that moment. And he even wished for death. His life, which he even describes himself as rotten, was finally about to end. But when he opened his eyes, he was in the presence of a petite young woman by the name of Lisita, or Likita. And he woke up in a bed bandaged up by her. And she immediately introduces him to her magic. As long as it lacks mana, I can put it into and take it out of other things. That's how she brought him here, and the wood. So apparently, because when I was first reading through this, I was kind of dubious of what her magic really was. But apparently she can put her magic in and out of things. So it looks like she put him into the bottle in order to hide him. So because you see a panel of her opening a bottle, and then you see the firewood. I really wish the bottle would have drawn this better, so you could understand it off the first try. So apparently, she was gathering firewood. So whatever lacks mana, she can put it in and out of things. So she can seal things that aren't magical, like the broken branches and him. So pretty much she must have saw him being about to be beaten, and she put him in the bottle to save him and bring him back. But then she goes on to say, still what a surprise, she found a 5-leaf grimoire the other day, and she actually met a devil. And she asked about the 5th leaf superstition. Is it true? He doesn't even answer the question. He probably doesn't even know about it, since he is a devil without magic. And he's just more so tripping off the fact that she's not afraid of him. Now, the 5th leaf superstition, each of the leaves are supposed to represent something, and the 4th being the best kind of grimoire you can get, with Yuno and Licht being 2 examples of people. Well, Yuno, Licht, and Patri being 3 examples of people who've gotten 4-leaf grimoires. And they say that within the 5th leaf if a grimoire has 5 leaves, within the 5th dwells a devil. So it looks like it is true. All of the devil grimoires should have 5 leaves. I don't think we saw the grimoires for the Dark Triad, or even not. But anyway, she laughs and says, "Who'd be scared of an injured kid? Besides, you don't have magic and you're all frail." And anyway, we're talking about being loathed. She can give him a run for her money, or him a run for his money, because we see that snake is coming towards her, and the snake immediately starts to lose its life. She has a body that steals magic and life from whatever's near me. That's why she lives way outside the village all alone. But because he's got no magic, and because he's a devil, you're not losing magic or life. So listen, she then invites him to come be her kid. Now let's pause here for a second. A body that steals magic. Who do we know that does that? Who do we know with that power? Any guesses? No? Henry. The Black Bull's secret member Henry is afflicted by a curse that gives him that exact ability. So that's interesting. Very interesting. How she has a curse or an ability. I don't know what it is. Because at least in this chapter, she doesn't mention meeting a devil, but Henry mentions that it's just, well, is it a curse? Yeah, it's a curse. Yeah, it's a curse. It was mentioned that it was a curse. I don't think it was a curse that he was cursed. I think it's a curse that was passed down. But anyway, she has an ability similar to him, so she could potentially be related to Henry. But moving on, he's taken aback by the fact that she would ask him to be her child. So we then flash to a montage of them playing, her teaching him to fish, him learning about insects and everything, them bathing together, them playing in the leaves, him eating, them playing a snowman, them playing with a snowman, building a snowman, playing with a snowman, and just laughing, sleeping, and loving together. He even goes on to say, that human changed my world. And then we get the different perspective from the scene. Just because you're a devil doesn't necessarily mean that they're a bad guy. After all, you aren't a bad guy. And she says, after all, he rescued her from being alone. Thanks. And we find out his name, Lieb, or Lieb, but I think it's going to be Lieb. So that is the devil's name, Lieb. But just then, before he can have a chance to answer, he's taken over by a strange force as he writhes in pain. And then a mysterious voice says that it is Lucifero. And we see that part of his face is distorted by a black aura of Lucifero, the devil who resides on the lowest level, and is presumably the most powerful devil in the underworld, from what we know. He then goes on to say that who to believe the devil will be in the human world without making contact with a human. And then he says that he's glad that he killed time to look for him. He wasn't really looking for him for any particular reason. He was just curious, like, hey, didn't we throw him at that at the barrier? He didn't go splat. What the fuck? So Lieb, in his subconscious, he's like, okay, one of the highest devils. Why isn't his body listening to him? Lucifero then goes on to say that it's truly a find. He then goes on to say that he'll continue to use Lieb to find a way to manifest his body in the human world. But before he can finish his sentence, Lucita, she then goes on to say, she goes on to begin to try to protect him, to try to make Lucifero let him go, because he's her son. Lucifero then notices how foolish it is. He says, even though while possessing Lieb, being, in another dimension and using Lieb as a catalyst, he's nearly powerless. A human could never, but before he can even finish his words, he notices she's absorbing his magic, to which he then moves to attack. And she then goes, oh, fuck. Live reaction here. This isn't scripted. I just want to let y'all know this. I just noticed something. As she's saying, this time I'm not letting go, we see her with a basket, leaving it somewhere. So though she may have some connection to Henry, I said last time, this may be Asta's mother, and I'm thinking this is a pretty hard confirmation. Because she looks just like him, and I'm betting dollars and donuts her hair is going to be white and her eyes are going to be green like Asta's. Whoa, I did not catch that the first time. I kind of skimmed through it because, like I said, I read the chapters at work on Friday. Damn. But yeah, she says she's not letting go while absorbing the magic. He then punches a hole through her as Lieb, whose body's been used to do this, is shocked in horror. And she then goes on to say, even though she's being impaled, this boy is not yours. And he is then thwarted and expelled, thanks to her absorbing his magic. But he then goes on to say he can possess a lower level demon from anywhere and he'll return for Lieb. Lieb then, being held in her arms as she is impaled, is trying to say her name, and she apologizes for being so dumb. But the only way she can protect him is by sealing him inside his grimoire. And she says that by the time he emerges, he'll be big and strong, and he'll be able to protect himself. She then tells him to live and that he's her dear son. And as he fades away, being sealed inside the grimoire, he says, "Mom." We then cut back with him having a twisted face. It's one of those "I'm about to cry" face. "I'll never forgive them. This malice will never disappear." To which he then says, "Devils are scum, every last one of them. And so I'm gonna kill them all, even if I have to steal your body to do it." And that's Black Clover. Yeah, that one panel, I did not catch that the first time. I had to kind of read it quick so my boss wouldn't catch me. But yeah, so that's not necessarily be a confirmation, but that's a pretty big. That's damn near confirmed, because that could be somewhere else. That could be something else. But I'm calling it. That's Asa's mother. Which means that this didn't happen too long ago. Okay, because roundabout time, I was thinking like 5-leaf Clover, because she has the power to put magic in other things. I was thinking that her power had something to do with the reason he has anti-magic, and the swords that Licht had, especially the Demon Dweller sword, how it can take magic and put it somewhere else. So I was thinking that maybe her power evolved and had something to do with that. So I was thinking this was like hundreds of years ago, but no. It's not. If Asta's about 16, 17, I think it's about to be 16 or about to be 17. So this is about 17 years ago, potentially. Maybe not long after that, or maybe not that long ago. Because it looks like if that baby was Asta, she was dropping him off. So that happened previously. So that was either months to years prior. So within the last 16 years, this happened. So either 16 years ago, right after Asta was dropped off, or it was maybe 8 or so years ago after Asta's been dropped off. But anyway, still. So this happened not too long ago, and the reason he wants to kill devils is because he made a connection with a human woman and found a mother who changed his life. Definitely a dope chapter. So we found out why he hates devils and potentially Asa's origin too. So double whammy. I don't know where they can go with this. But they're probably gonna, him and Asa are probably gonna make a deal. I don't know if he'll find out that Asta was the baby that she left immediately, because she may have told him about that. She may not have. But I believe that's gonna be a thing. Like one day he's gonna find that out, and that's gonna be something huge. That the host that he's working with is the son of the woman he called mother. So technically, in a way, his brother. So that's gonna be dope. But that's all my thoughts for right now. But damn, that's a good chapter. So I think you already know. Normally, I would record the award section as its own separate little thing. But I'm gonna go ahead and do it here. We're gonna start from the top. Black Clover. Black Clover stole the show this week. Dope ass art. We learned about the demon world. We learned about potentially Asta's origin, on some slick shit. And we learned about Lieb. Not only learned his name, but we learned his backstory. So definitely pushing the needle forward on this one. And the art's great. The look of the demon world. Very, very cool. Very cool. Then's gonna be One Piece. One Piece really didn't do anything. It was kind of not mid. But it was a good chapter, but I don't know. It leaves some power scaling questions that kind of need to be answered. But hey, it wasn't a bad chapter. Just yeah. I mean, potentially some interesting stuff to come about, but we got 8 more than 1,000, so I mean, it's on to the next one. And bronze, My Hero Academia. Yet again, My Hero Academia is coming off a fuck of a run. Like, Horikoshi's been on his shit. But this chapter, it was like, Besides that, like I said, the first page was the only interesting thing about the chapter this week. That shit about Toga, I'm like, bruh. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I just want somebody to kill Toga. She gets on my fucking nerves. It's like, no, the shit she does, it's like, I'm driven for somebody to kill her. I'm glad Twice is gone. I want somebody to kill her. Like, I want Compact dead. Like, the only motherfuckers I really give a fuck about within the League of Villains are Dabi and Shigaraki. Everybody else can go fuck off. I really don't care. But yet again, my personal feelings of Toga aside, it's like, okay, there's something up for her. Maybe there'll be something interesting, like I said, with whoever's on that plane and Toga. But I really don't give a fuck about Toga, so it's like, okay, whenever we find out who's on that plane, will be whenever something interesting happens in My Hero Academia again, unless we cut back to Deku and Shigaraki. But anyway, that's been my Shonen Showdown for this week. Definitely remember, if you like what you heard, like, comment, subscribe, and also tell me what you thought of the chapters. Is there anything I missed? Which one did you think was the best? And yet again, this has been your boy, the D20, signing out. See you guys.